Hey, it's Kevin Bjorklund, and this is part 3 of the formula for confidence. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, I want to encourage you to go and see that. Also, I'm going to be teaching through some illustration, and so I have put in the description a link to a free training I did on how to achieve any goal that you set, but it dives deep into what is going on in the mind and why it's so important to master your mindset so that you can achieve the goals that you're setting. So that is also there in the description. In part 3, we're going to be diving into it's like a simple sentence, but there's so much in it. So we're going to dive into that. Again, in part 1, I talked about the backstory to where this self-confidence formula came from, why it was developed, and that this is a script that is read, that you read to yourself every day or twice a day, and that through doing this, it develops confidence. But within it, there's so much teaching, and that's why we're doing these videos, is so that when you read it, you understand what's actually being said. And so this was written by Napoleon Hill. And again, go back to video 1 for that backstory. But in this part 3, in this third sentence, he writes this, and this is something that you would say to yourself every day. I know through the theory of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek some expression through some practical means of obtaining the object or position I desire. Sounds like a mouthful, kind of like it doesn't produce really any stimulus without the teaching. So that's what we're going to do. And once I teach this, your mind will go crazy thinking about it. So right here, he says, I know through the theory of autosuggestion. What is the theory of autosuggestion? Well, a suggestion is something somebody says to you that goes from your conscious mind, which is your ability to accept or reject your conscious, to your subconscious, which is like soil. So it's like someone says something to you, it's a suggestion, and it just goes straight past your conscious mind into your subconscious mind as like a truth. And so people can suggest things all the time, but we can also suggest stuff to ourselves. And it's the most powerful when we do it, obviously, audibly. And so when we auto-suggest something to ourselves, we're saying something to ourselves, and the more we repeat it, the more we believe it. And that's, again, this is like seed and soil. The conscious is the seed, the ability to create thoughts, and then the soil is what cultivates that thought and produces it into reality in our life. And again, in the description below, I put a link to that training. I go through all of this and make it so crystal clear. And so I really encourage you to go and get that training. So when he's talking about autosuggestion, we're simply saying making a suggestion to yourself for yourself. And he says, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek some expression through some practical means of obtaining the object or position I desire. Notice that he says any desire. Desire is amoral. If people have a more dominant negative thought or belief, that is the desire that he's talking about. If you have a more positive desire, it's a more positive idea or belief, and whichever one is more dominant in your mind, your thinking and your feeling, it is going to be expressed through your actions, plus or minus, and that is going to produce your results. And so what's cool about this is you can just look at your results and you can say, I know what I believe based on my results. Based on my results, I know what I believe. And so this doesn't mean that things are like always perfect, but it does also, it shows the conditioning of your mind and where your mind is at. Okay, so it's not also saying that it's just going to be a byproduct of what you do. It's also saying that as you hold a desire in your mind, again, that is both your thinking and your feeling mind, that actually begins to attract to you the results of that desire. So when somebody says, if somebody is like conditioned their mind that bad things always happen to them, what he's saying right here is like, that is a law. Like when you believe, you actually do attract to yourself the state of your belief. And so when somebody is just like, everything always bad happens to me. Why does this always happen to me? And then like the next day they get a flat tire. They're doing what is said here. Like I know through the theory of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind, that thought of something always bad happening to me it becomes a desire because the subconscious mind just accepts it as belief and it becomes the dominating desire. And so they're creating this reality for themselves based on this theory of autosuggestion, that any desire that they persistently hold in the mind, it's the persistent continuous thought. And so I want to pause and just say, like, what are yours? What are your persistent continuous thoughts? And those are rooted in your beliefs, and that can come from the self-image, which we addressed in part 2, but it's also it just can come through this like pattern of thinking that any desire that's persistently held in the mind is eventually going to seek its expression through some practical means. So that is something that could happen to you. It's also the things that you will like take action on. And so it's this action plus attraction equals the results. And so what he's saying here is it's so important that you do what is being suggested, because what he's saying here is you got to change your desire. You've got to change your desire from whatever you're currently experiencing in life and stop living so connected to the reality. Like if the reality of your life is controlling your thinking, what you can expect is that you're going to continue to get the same results. So the point of this is developing confidence in the power of the mind and the power of thinking and the way the mind is wired to disconnect from reality and to create the image of what you want for your life and to focus your attention on that. And that's what the goal card app does. It gives you the ability to put your goal down and create it in the first person, seeing yourself as the person who's achieving that goal or who has achieved that goal, but also seeing yourself as the person who would be able to accomplish that goal and fixing your mind's attention on those pictures, not on what you're currently seeing, not on currently the way that you're wired to behave. You want to get outside of the current reality and create a new reality with the power of your mind, the imagination, and then using your will to fix your attention on that picture. Okay, so that's what he's saying here through the theory of autosuggestion. And the reason the goal card app was designed the way it was is because you can autosuggest to yourself. You could read your script every single day, which is important. Again, the more you focus attention on this, the more you rewire your mind for the goal that you're seeking to achieve and for the self-image that you desire, the quicker that will come to pass in your life. But the second thing is you can use the app to record your voice and listen to it with inspiring music so that you're doing this autosuggestion automatically every single day. And the more emotionally connected you are to that script that you've written and that goal that you've written, the more it's going to get into your subconscious, the more you're going to enjoy hearing that and listening to that and visualizing that and seeing yourself as that person. And that's where this becomes very powerful. And you start to develop the confidence to do and be exactly what you want to have, be, and do. And so that's part 3, the theory of autosuggesting, suggesting to yourself, not your current reality, but suggesting to yourself the reality you desire, the one that you've created. And that comes again from part 1. Go back and watch it, but it comes from understanding and then clarity. Getting clarity on yourself and understanding yourself. So, all right, this was part 3. In the next video, part 4, we're going to go through the 4th sentence. There's 5 total. And then we are going to talk about the 5th one in part 5. But I want to encourage you, go get the goal card app. And then also go get the training. It's in the description. Get the training that I put together where I dive deep into this and give you just crystal clear understanding of what's going on, why it works, how it works. And I'm telling you, your faith will rise. Your confidence will rise from that training. And then the last thing is, if you're benefiting from these videos, click subscribe, share these videos with your friends, comment below. I would love to see your comments and make videos based on your comments. Thank you again. This is Kevin Bjorklund with Mindset Mastery, helping goal getters go achieve their goals.